Colombia has direct sea access to both the west and east coasts of the United States, and that puts you in the box seat when you're shipping illegal gear on an industrial scale. Jesus and Pablo had started out as debt collectors and gang enforcers in their early teens. They soon developed a reputation for casual and lethal violence. Kidnap for ransom was one of their favourite tricks. If the family refused to pay or couldn't come up with the cash, the dynamic duo would torture their captive, then kill them. Sometimes they'd do it anyway just to make a point. Pour encourager les autres, Jesus liked to say. That means to encourage the others. According to an associate turned DEA informer, he was never without a book, and had a particular weakness for Voltaire, another great defender of civil liberties. He knew that guns and torture would not be enough to protect their growing fortune. The pool around Medellin teemed with sharks, ever circling, always looking for the kill. They had to show they were capable of defending what was theirs, and, as the military memoirs he devoured had taught him, the best form of defence was attack. Jesus and Pablo took terror to new levels. Women were raped as punishment for a crime by a family member, and every relative, children included, was rounded up to witness it. They made their victims beg and scream in front of their loved ones, and left their mutilated corpses on display. Sometimes he and Pablo put their heads on stakes and hung their intestines from trees. Male victims had their cocks chopped off and stuffed into their mouths. Women had their breasts sliced off with machetes, their stomachs cut open, and their wombs stretched over their heads. The wolf soon perfected the signature dish that earned him his nickname. He'd rip open the throat of a victim and pull his tongue through the gash like some grotesque necktie. Which went to show that your worst enemy was the psychopath with a library card. The wolf and Escobar wielded the raw power that only terror can bring. In its wake came so much wealth they offered to pay off Colombia's national debt. Escobar even became a congressman, a respectable citizen, a representative of the people. His new status gave him judicial immunity, which meant he could no longer be prosecuted for crimes under Colombian law, and he made sure the wolf couldn't either. Escobar also had a shiny new passport that gave him international diplomatic immunity. He took his family north of the border for their holidays, even posed for happy snaps in front of the White House. The DEA were pulling their hair out. Not just because he could mince around his Miami mansions with impunity, but because they knew he planned to become president of Colombia, and there was nothing they could do to stop him. Ironically, it only went tits up for the congressman and his mate when some bright spark in the US discovered that everyday baking soda provided a simple, low-cost alternative for the highly flammable diethyl ether used in the manufacture of freebase cocaine. And the new cocktail was also much more addictive. Crack spread like wildfire through the USA's inner-city streets and was soon a social epidemic. Almost overnight, the white stuff lost its chic. It was no longer the recreational substance of choice for the well-heeled trendsetter. Washington had no choice but to grip the situation, and that meant gripping the cartels. What had started as a profit bonanza was the beginning of the end for the dynamic duo. Their political platform disintegrated beneath them. They'd become plague-carrying rats, enemies of the state, which was when the SAS was called in to help. Me, Pablo and Jesus went way back.